10. Destructive winds.
Windows blown out. Across downtown, trees crush homes and cars.
Electrical towers toppled. Power knocked out for hundreds of thousands.
Right now, our team fanning out across the region and preparing you for the storm's aftermath.
KHOU 11 News at 10 starts right now. And breaking tonight, we have new details on tonight's incredible hurricane-like windstorm. Just in the last half hour, Houston Mayor John Whitmire confirming at least 4 people have died. Right now, power is out to nearly 1 million customers across the region, and we've learned now school is canceled for Houston ISD, Cy-Fair ISD, Spring Branch ISD, Sheldon ISD, and Channelview ISD. 5 districts so far.
Getting right to our live team coverage, Chief Meteorologist David Paul and Meteorologist Kim Castro take us through what happened and what is coming in the next 12 hours.
And we have team crews across the area, starting with Jason Miles. He's downtown Houston tonight. Jason?
Hey there, guys. I'm in the 100 block of Travis, just on the south side of Buffalo Bayou. Take a look behind me. This is an old masonry building that currently houses a bar. Fortunately, I'm told that bar was closed when the storm came through, but you can see that entire brick wall collapsed. But big high rises just a few blocks from here is where we've seen the most debris. The storm that rolled through downtown Houston this evening left indoor offices open to the elements as hundreds of shattered windows now dot facades of gleaming glass towers.
It looks like a tornado to me.
Dave Lewis and others shot this video while hunkered down in the tunnel level of Wells Fargo Tower.
Hey, we had a guy come in off the street, said something landed in his car and cut him about 8-inch gash.
Workers on higher floors say they felt buildings sway amid the whipping wind.
I could feel the floor moving. I was sitting in an office and the door was just sliding in and out by itself.
Others recall what they heard even before the sound of breaking glass, and in this case, crumbling bricks.
It sounded like a train horn, like 10 train horns, like everything you've heard from, people that live through tornadoes.
Whatever this was, it's a sight those who may be working from home for a while.
Yeah, never thought I'd see something like it downtown Houston, but It's spectacular, it really is.
Won't soon forget. And if you've ever seen archival video from 1983 Hurricane Alicia, or if maybe you were old enough to be around back then, the damage we've seen today very reminiscent of what Alicia caused, maybe to a higher degree. But many people down here are convinced a tornado touched down downtown today. But there are still people milling about tonight. The best advice, though, avoid downtown if you can. Many traffic lights are out of service, and roads like this one are blocked to traffic. Reporting live downtown, Jason Miles, KHOU 11 News.
Thank you. And of course, Mayor Whitmire encouraging everybody to stay off the roads tonight. There is serious damage everywhere. Check out this building along Crockett and Sabine Street, west of downtown Houston. Looks like the second story just blown off. Also along Crockett Street, we saw power poles snapped in half, dropping wires across the street. Devon Raming is there tonight. Devon?
Hey, Lynn, yeah, we are live here in the first ward off of Sabine and Crockett, where just to my right, you can see the mangled mess that folks are dealing with in this neighborhood. The roof of this storage building was completely ripped off and left in this mangled pile of debris blocking Sabine Street. Portions of the roof are even wrapped around the power lines here on this corner. And as a matter of fact, within the last 20 minutes or so, we actually had sparks coming from that power line where that metal is wrapped around that area. So that's why we're across the street here as far away as possible from that debris, from that power line, just for our own safety as people are traveling this road here, taking in all the damage that this area has seen. Now, crews with Gulf Storm Roofing and Construction have actually been called to the scene here to start removing some of the debris in an effort to help reopen this road as quickly as possible. And this is just one of many wild scenes like this here in this area of the First Ward, where people will be cleaning and rebuilding for the foreseeable future after this evening's deadly storms. Guys, back to you.
Yvonne, thank you. In this update for students and parents, HISD has canceled school tomorrow, we mentioned earlier, due to the severe weather. And tonight, the storm's forcing the HISD board to postpone its budget workshop. Take a look at what happened as the storms passed by HISD headquarters on the northwest side.
Sorry to interrupt the meeting. We are now in the area for tornado warning for the next 30 minutes. We need everyone to remain inside the room, away from the windows, okay? We will let you know when that tornado warning has lifted. Please stay inside the room and follow our directions. Thank you so much.
I'll use my inside voice. Is that better?
All right, you see the lights going out at that meeting. They never came back on. The district was forced to postpone the meeting like other locations.
Now we take you to Timber Grove. Have a look at this video just in from our crew position near 18th Street, just east of 610. As you can see, damaged trees are scattered all across the street there. And we're seeing quite the mess in the Spring Branch area. Anayeli Ruiz is in that neighborhood surveying the damage there. Just how bad is it tonight, Anayeli?
Guys, it's pretty bad. I want to show you just some of the damage. Again, we're off of Bingle and Long Point, just in the neighborhood. And this is one of the cars that you can see here that had a tree fall on top of it. The tree, they actually just removed it. And you can see here it's next to the road, completely blocking part of it. But I just want to show you some of the other damage that we found around this neighborhood. You can see the trees broken and almost of down power lines. In some intersections, the officers were set up to prevent people from driving through the area. And of course, we saw plenty of flooded streets and lots of roads also. But residents tell us they took cover and are just very grateful that nobody was seriously injured.
Me, my sisters were in the hallway with my dogs. My grandma was praying. We just were like we didn't know what was going on since we have never like experienced this, and it was like scary.
No, we're very fortunate because it managed to not hit our trucks or the roof of the house. So we're safe, and that's all we can ask for.
And again, for now, these residents tell me they're very grateful that nobody of their neighbors here were seriously injured, but they are using candles to light up their home and inside their home. And again, it's pitch dark out here. If you're out driving in these roads, be very careful, stay home. You know, it's not safe driving through this debris. You don't really know what's there, if there's glass or any other kind of metals that could really injure your car. And of course, we're going to continue to follow this and bring you guys the very latest. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Regardless, you're not going to get very far if you venture out, and it's just flat out dangerous. Anayeli, thank you. Sherman Chow joins us now. She's live along Hempstead Road in Bingle, where some businesses were also hit hard. Sherman?
Yeah, we are actually on Bingle, and behind me is what is left of Eden's Tire Shop. Police tell me this is the worst hit spot they have seen in Spring Branch. Look at that, the corrugated tin rolled up around itself like so much cardboard. In the back, the steel framing also collapsed, blocking all of Bingle Road. And all of this is surrounded by this spider web of downed utility lines and power lines, all of which are de-energized, which is why it's safe and why police have allowed us to stand here. Now, behind me, I hope you can see, there are just a couple of tires left. It's a family-owned business and they've been moving them, but they are usually stacked up very high. When the storm hit, the owner took shelter underneath those tires next to them, and so when the roof collapsed, it struck the tires first and not him. So listen to what the owner had to say.
Because they said, yeah.
How?
It's hard because it's my work for like 2 years and I have my family business, and it's hard. It's really hard.
So,
we're okay. We're fine. Thanks to God.
Very emotional, as you can imagine, and maybe a lot of businesses in that situation. Earlier in the day, we were driving around Spring Branch. Huge trees felled, split in half, hitting cars as well as homes, so it is going to be a mess there. Back out here live, I want to show you one more thing, if you can see it. This is a postal truck on its side, literally. And there was a postal carrier inside this truck during the storm when the truck flipped over. She is okay. The mail is okay. She and the mail went back to the post office, and the postal workers will be back out here to help clean up everything here, along with the rail crossing that got chewed up by the storm. So it'll be a mess. All of this, a very powerful reminder about the force and the fear that Mother Nature can create. We are live here in Spring Branch. Sherman Chow, KHOU 11 News.
Very difficult, Sherman, to see those people going through that. And right now, hundreds of thousands of people are in the dark. According to poweroutage.us, a website tracking outages across the country, listen to this, more than 40% of Harris County still without power. We're talking nearly 900,000 customers. Chief Meteorologist David Paul, walk us through what happened here, David.
Well, make no doubt about it. If you lived through the core of these winds, you went through the equivalent of a Cat 1, if not a Cat 2 hurricane. And this is the path of the strongest winds. They began up in the Cypress area, came right down 290 through Copperfield, through Spring Branch, the Memorial Villages, and then raced into downtown and did all that damage. Let's go through a little timeline. This is 6:10 earlier this evening. Winds measured just above the surface at almost 80 miles an hour, and right there, that's the thunderstorm wind damage that knocked down the transmission lines in the Cypress area. We move forward in time to 6:26. At that point, radar was estimating winds just above the surface of 113 miles an hour. That's moving through Spring Branch, where all the trees were knocked down. Those winds above the surface, when you have heavy rain, can be transported down to the surface, and it appeared that's exactly what happened with all the damage across Spring Branch and the Memorial Villages and Memorial proper. Then it moved into the Heights and Timber Grove and downtown. Winds estimated at 105 miles an hour. That's at 6:32. That's when all the glass was being blown out from those downtown windows. Now, as we look at the current radar, things have settled down. The rain and storms have just finally exited the coast. Kim Castro, it has been a very busy day in the weather department. How are we looking for the rest of the evening and into tomorrow morning?
Yeah, David, let me at least start by saying this. Any additional rain that we do see tonight and tomorrow morning is going to be non-severe. So at least that's a small sigh of relief there. Strong storms have now pushed over into Louisiana. Our storms have exited the coastline. Notice there's a batch that develops along the I-35 corridor. That's a snapshot at 1 in the morning. But as it tracks closer to southeast Texas, it disappears, it dissipates. We have used up all of the energy. We felt it all across Houston today. Now, as we take it into the early morning hours for the commute, we got a batch of small showers that could pop up along the I-10 corridor, pushing closer to the coastline, but that's pretty much it. Now, the danger still persists because we're going to have to do a lot of cleanup. We're going to have to do it without power, and temperatures, guys, are going to be climbing. I'll have more on that when I see you next.
Oh, that makes it